Hello, hi, we're live, hi. Hi everyone, welcome to Unzipped Stories Africa, where we come every single time to listen, to learn, to grow, and most importantly, get inspired. And it's me again, DS, and I'm right here with this week's episode. I'm so excited about today because this guest is someone I have been begging and stalking and waiting and trying and every single thing just to make sure that I get him to speak. But I guess they say there's always the right time, and I'm happy about this right time. Lengdung, do you know why? Because it's my pleasure to introduce to the world for the very first time Lengdung, the author.
Hey!
We know you as several things. We know you as a change maker. We know you as the Jenta hero, one of the forerunners of development, especially educational development in Jenta. But ladies and gentlemen, Lengdung, behold, the author. Hi, author man.
Hey, hi.
Tell us now, how does it feel to be an author?
Well, exciting and dreadful.
Right.
Yes.
Just that, exciting and great. What's the excitement about? For how long have you wanted to do this?
So, I've always had an idea that I was going to write a book for maybe over 10 years now. I always knew that someday I'll have to write a book. I just didn't know what it was going to be about. And yeah, so after all the hard work, it's very exciting to see that the book is ready and people are going to have it and they're going to read it. It's just so exciting. It's like you're sharing part of your life.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm excited? I'm going to read out something here. You know what I'm excited about this now? I'm excited about the fact that we all knew you I personally started knowing you as the reader. Like, that's the first thing that fascinated me about you, right? The reader. So now it's you, the writer, right? So it's, I think that I've seen a lot of comments, especially on Facebook, about the book, and it looks like we all was waiting for this actually. So this is like the moment we all waited for.
Yeah, it's surprising to me. That reaction is really surprising. I didn't see that coming.
How? Why?
I don't know. I didn't expect that the reaction, there was going to be a lot of people who were watching and waiting for this book. I mean, why would people be interested in my life? I didn't know.
Well, why not? So, let me take us all back a little bit, right? You are one of the forerunners of Gentar Reads, right? So tell us a little bit about Gentar Reads, and then let's connect it to you being now an author.
Oh, okay. So basically, Gentar Reads is a grassroots effort that started with a community library. We established a library in our community so that community members can be able to walk in, read, and do their stuff, do assignments, interact, have conversations, and basically just work towards a better life. And the reason we started it was because during our upbringing, we didn't have these opportunities. During our upbringing, we were the kids that were flogged in class because we didn't have textbooks. We were the kids that were sent out of class because we didn't have maths textbook, quantitative textbook. Those were our challenges. And we were the kids who didn't read because we didn't have the books. So what happened was, after we grew up and got to a point, we realized that, this is not the way to grow. This is not the way to build a child. This is not the way for the child to develop best. So we decided the library was the thing we're going to do for our community. So we established the library. And now it's more like I'm adding one more book to the shelf of the library to say, okay, guys, these are all the books of all these guys. Here's another book again that should inspire the community and inspire the people. And this is a story of one of us. Basically, I'm trying to tell people, especially people from Jenta, that, guys, if this thing could happen to me, if my life could become better, yours too can become better. And if I tell you the truth, that's one of the most important things that kids from the trenches are not told. We are made for years to believe that we are nothing, we are non-entities, we are insulted. The institutions around us make us feel small. They give us very low vision, low goals, mediocrity. So what I'm basically saying is, guys, this is my story. Things changed. Yours too can change. Yeah.
I want you to tell us the. So I remember when I told your story. Lengdung, are you here? And can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Perfect. So I want you to tell us. About 4 years ago, I was fascinated by the number of books that you read, and I had to tell a story about it. Now, I'm wondering, I want you to tell us the importance of reading a book. What does it add to our lives? I know people know, we all think that it's good to read a book, but in
Yeah.
the practical sense, why is it important to read a book to the extent that you had to create a community library? Why is it important?
Think of all the great people, think of all the amazing people, in the world. Reading made a big difference for them. Let's begin with Ben Carson. Ben Carson was a kid who was called a dummy. You know what? His mother, they sent a result to her and told her to withdraw him from school, that schooling was not for him. Yeah, they said he was too dull, he was too academically backward, his life was doomed, and he had anger issues. He would go on the street, fight people. He was just the thug of the street. But one day his mom decided that she's going to ban them from watching television, and instead of watching television, they're going to read two books, and they're going to read two books every week. After they read the books, they're going to review them. So this guy, in the previous term, he had come the second to the last position in class. But when they went on break, their mom forced them to read books. And when they went to class the next time, the teacher asked them in class, can you define a rock? And after they defined the rock, after the teacher asked who can define a rock, almost no one in the class could answer it. Ben Carson raised up his hand, and the whole class started laughing. They started laughing because this was the Dundee of the class. So if this guy raised his hand, they were sure he was going to make them laugh again. So, but the teacher was like, okay, he gave him a chance. He stood up, defined the rock and everything. And you know what? The teacher was so blown away. He couldn't believe it. He was stunned. He just opened his mouth and just looking. So after Ben Carson finished the definition, the teacher was still stunned. So stunned that he was not responding. So Ben Carson went ahead to even give the types of rocks, give explanations of them. And then the whole class turned and was looking at him. What nonsense is this guy gibbering? What nonsense is he saying? So they were waiting for the teacher to say, oh, this was wrong, and they start laughing again. And you know what? The teacher asked him, where did you learn this? He said his mom forced them to read books, and in the book he read the last term, they read about rock. You know what? That was the beginning of change for Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Eventually, he went to university. He went to Johns Hopkins University. He eventually worked at Johns Hopkins Hospital, which is one of the best hospitals in the whole world. Became a neurosurgeon there. Became the first neurosurgeon to conduct the operation for his Siamese twins.
The book changed his life.
Yes, it changed his life. If you pick a book and read, it completely takes you from this lane to this lane. Yeah, ask all the great people, they'll tell you the same thing. Books, 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 books.
So your book is you trying to make us great.
I hope so. I hope so. Yes, 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 yes. I want to challenge someone to be great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Langdon, I had told you this before that I was going to put you up on the spot. And
Yes, yeah.
I know I told you that you're going to answer in 90 seconds, but hey, I have a surprise for you. Guess what it is?
Okay, you have
You're
10
answering in
minutes for me.
60 seconds.
Wait.
I was going to speak up a surprise for you. Now, the first question that I have for you, and you're going to answer in 60 seconds, is I want you to tell me 20 great things about Jenta.
Jenta has number one, Jenta has beautiful rocks. Number two, Jenta has beautiful people. Number three, Jenta has amazing churches. Number four, Jenta has good football talents. Number six, Jenta has good
Five.
music. and great
Five.
Okay. Number six.
Five.
I mean,
Football
our parents
talent
love
is
us
five.
amazingly.
Six.
Number
Oh,
seven,
nice. Seven.
childhood in Jenta is fun. Number eight,
Eight.
Jenta has river that you can swim endlessly. Number nine,
Nine.
never turn away people in Jenta. Number 10, yes, number 10, Jenta is a place where there's poverty, but there's always food that you can eat in your neighbor's house.
We're going to talk about that. Number 11.
Jenta is a place where you can get Jumamento every morning.
Number 12.
Well, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Good job, good job. You know why we did that exercise? Because most of the time when you hear people talk about Gentar, it's the first time I heard about Gentar. It was almost like there wasn't so much good in that place, right?
True.
So I had it in my mind that I was going to put you up on the spot and you tell us amazing things about Genta and how it influenced the book that you have written. So how has Genta influenced? By the way, the name of the book is what?
The name of the book is Motion, a
Ah,
Gentar story.
a Genta story.
Yes,
Genge,
yes, yes,
genge,
yes, yes.
genge. Tell us about it.
So, the
No spoilers.
yeah, the things you hear about Genta being a bad place is partly true, but like they are like stereotypes. All stereotypes have some truth in them, so it's partly true. But at the same time, Genta, the key thing people don't realize about Genta is people do not grow up in Genta and want to become drug addicts. People do not grow up in Genta and want to become cultists. People do not grow up in Genta and want to become thieves. People do not grow up in Genta and want to become bad. The difference is that Genta is a place that allows you to do these things easily. So people choose the path. Not
Yeah.
they choose the path too because it's easy to do those things. Now, for people who grew up outside Genta, people who grew up in proper upbringings, they have societal structures that help them to stay in line. They have parents that care about their academics. They have parents that ask questions whether to go to school or not. They have parents that insist that they must engage in productive activities like camps and other things. In Genta, those things are highly available. So Genta is completely the background. It's the beginning and the end of the book. So where I go from explaining to you how Genta is in its unflatteriness. I tell you the truth about the fact that it's a happy place, and I tell you the fact that it's also a place with danger. And then I tell you that the fact that people are also from there is not necessarily always the choice. And the reason is because they don't know that it's possible to have a different life. It's possible to have a different thing. Just recently I was talking with a kid, and we asked the kid what does he want to be. I mean, what was his future ambition? You know what the kid said? The kid said he wanted to be a bike man. That was his ambition.
Bike man.
Yes. The thing is, it's not a bike job is bad. It's not a no. But bike job is it's something people do. You get, and it's a productive activity and all of that. But if that's the ultimate dream that a kid will see for his life, it tells you how far he can go. So he grows up and all he wants to be is a bike guy. While there are other bigger things that he could be, that he could use his life to do. So I tell people in the book that I grew up in these circumstances. I was almost like this. You won't believe something. The week I went to the week I went to secondary school, that was a week I was supposed to be introduced into smoking. Yeah, officially, I was supposed to have my official smoke on that very week that I went to secondary school. So I went to secondary school, and it kind of pulled me out, and I started viewing Genta in a different lens. I started seeing Genta for all its good and all its bad, and something within me began fighting it. And I began to crave for a better life. I began to crave for better things. I began to crave for a newer life. I realized that I had potential, and this is not the best I can do with my life. In school, teachers used to tell me that you're so smart. I don't know why you're so stupid. You're so smart. I don't know why you're engaged in these wrong activities. They catch us, doing something wrong with my friends, and they say, look at him. He's even Lengdung. Why is Lengdung here? Lengdung is. They didn't know where all of this was flowing from. So that's how Genta shaped the
So,
book. It's
Langdon,
basically
I would
almost
like
everything.
for us to know, right? How are you able to stand out in that kind of environment, right? So, I know what you've said, the issue of societal structures, the issue of parental upbringing, and I must say that this is not peculiar to Africa alone,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes,
in
yes.
in every society there's usually that particular place in every society, anywhere around the world, right?
True.
So how are you able to stand out despite being part of that kind of environment? So this is more like Langdon, share us tips on how to stand out in a I wouldn't want to say up or less upright, but in that kind of community, how do you stand out? How did you stand out?
So something important. Three things happened. Number one was that my family was actually very good. I actually had a very good home. My mom was very, very involved in my life. So she was the one who actually caused me to take my first motion, which is go to a school outside of Jenta. She always watched my results, she always watched everything. So despite the fact that there was the pull from Jenta, I did not fall into it completely because my mom was always trying to pull me back. The second thing was people. People. I met many different kind of people. You know, Jim Rohn said that your life is going to be the same except for two things: the book you read and the people you meet. I met amazing people, people that I wrote about in the book, people who had different orientation, people who invited me to programs, people who sent me podcasts on my phone, people who sent me videos on my phone that were geared towards purpose, that were geared towards potentials, that were geared towards making use of your life. And people who also helped me see that there was something in life called the grace of God. You know, one other thing is I was angry with God. Throughout my teenage years, I was very angry with God. I actually rejected God. Whoever was God at that point was this hateful, spiteful, dangerous, wicked person who just decided to ruin my life. So I was very angry at him. But I met people that changed my orientation. They fed my worldview. They gave me new perspectives, and that set me on a different path. And if you had removed those people, if you had removed the books I read, if you had removed my parents, you wouldn't be talking with me here today.
Nice. I like the fact that you summarized it. If you had removed the people, the influence of good people around you, if you had removed your parents, the role that your mother played, God bless her, and if you also have removed the books that you have read, because so then it gives us like three options of how to be great in that kind of environment. Make sure you associate yourself with good people, people who have wider, who are more exposed than you are, right? Make sure you also read good books, and
Yes.
A challenge to parents that you should
Yes.
be involved in your children's life for good, right? Because we used to say that, it's like a common saying that the parents sort of shape our lives. They have a role to play, but people downplay it a lot. So you
Yeah.
see parents say to kids like, things like, you don't want to fix your life, you don't want to work in the right way, now you sabi, you face the consequences. And I like the fact that while you were sharing your story, you said if they had known better, those people who were sort of wayward, quote unquote, right? If they had known better, they would have done better. It's what they see. It's what the environment portrays. It's the mirror of the society that they live in.
Correct.
That is
Correct.
what they are manifesting, right? So if
Correct.
as a parent you tell a child something like, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do this, that's a wayward life, now you sabi. Don't you? I from what you have said, I sort of think that you're just setting up that child for failure, because if he knows better, he would have done better.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
that
So
correct?
I like the fact that you're picturing this parenting thing in a global perspective. It's actually true. In the past few months, I read some two books. One is by Henderson. That's the name of the guy, and then there's another one I read again by Trevor Noah. Both of them, you see the importance and the power of parenting. Trevor Noah says without his mom, he would have been a stupid kid. And it was actually true. She tried for many years to get him to go to school. But you know what? Because he was smart, he was on the street, he was making some money, like doing his small hustles. She kept telling him if he goes to university and have a degree, he was too smart, he was going to make abundant money. But because he was doing hustles on the street, getting like small money, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, and for a kid his age, he felt that was big money. But she told him that wasn't the end of his potentials. He could do much more. And you know what? He eventually went to school. Now look at where Trevor is.
Yeah, right.
Parenting. It was his mom that made the difference for him. And he keeps saying it. I mean, listen to Trevor, read his book. Everywhere you see, he's always talking about his mom. And that's the power of parenting. Parents' influence is
Moms,
incredible.
moms have a lot of things to do.
Yeah, they
Now,
do. And
I
fathers
have
too.
this question here, right? It says your book. In the book, you highlight both struggles and triumphs, right? I want you to tell us, at the center of everything, what message of hope does the book offer its readers?
The most important thing that I want readers to know, and the most important thing I want to pass across in that book is you can change. Like, your life can be better. Your life can be different. Your life can be unique. I mean, you are you have all it takes. You are empowered by something called agency, human agency, the power to change your life. I got the title from the book title. I got the title for the book from the Newton's second law of motion, which says an object will continue to remain in a state of rest until it is acted upon by an external force. But you know what? When it is acted upon by an external force, the object has the capacity to change. That is how we have been able to move cars. That is how we have been able to move trolleys. That is how we have been able to send rocket into space. That is how we have been able to move ships. That is how we have been able to move so many things. Guys,
Wow.
your life can change too. You deserve a far, far better life. No matter how you imagine your life, there's always a better one. There's always a higher one to keep climbing to. The smartest people in the world, the richest people in the world, Elon Musk, Dangote, all of these people, Tony Elumelu, for those people, I mean, Trevor Noah, all of these guys, they don't have two heads. They're like us. And especially as
Now you're sounding
Nigerians,
like my mother.
yeah, you're like us. They
That's
don't
what
have
my
two
mom will
heads.
always say. And funny enough, just recently, 2 days ago, she repeated those lines to me because I am somewhere in my career where I need to make certain decisions and they are tough decisions. And so she just repeated those lines and said, you see these great people, you see all of these great things. Those people achieving it don't have two heads. You have it in you. You can do it, right? And I
Yes,
now learn you sounding like my mother.
yes, yes. And it's true. It's true. It's true, yeah. You
So, Leng,
don't be
back
limited.
to your 60 seconds. Are you ready for the second one?
Okay, let me
All
let me breathe.
right. Take a deep breath. Breathe in. All right, Leng, you have 60 seconds to tell us. If you would go back in time, what advice would you give your younger self?
I'm telling him to start reading early. Start reading early. Start reading early and meet good friends. Stick with good friends. You know, my mom used to advise me then that my friends will have an influence on me. She used to tell me, but I used to tell her I would change them. I was wrong. So yeah.
Oh, God, this is nuggets. Wisdom,
Read,
wisdom, wisdom.
read. I'm going to tell my younger self to read a lot, and then I'll tell him to stick with good friends. Choose your friends like your life depends on it, because your life depends on it.
You know what? The next question, which is like your next 60 seconds, is give us 5 criteria of a good friend.
Okay. A friend should be at least honest with you. Number 2, the friend should have like a vision, not necessarily something a long-term vision. They should want to have something big. Number 3 is they should have something they are passionate about. Don't ever be friends with someone who's not passionate about anything. No matter what, that person should have passion for something. No matter what it is, the person should be passionate about something. Number 4 is the person should have a quest for knowledge. The person should have a quest for knowledge, a desire to seek things. Number 5 is that person, whoever, you should have some kind of common values, so that you won't be pulling each other in different directions. It's going to be a struggle. You know, friends really determine a lot of things. So that's the 5 criteria. I wanted to say a story, but I just yeah. So let me hold my story. 60 seconds is up. I hope.
Yes, it's up, and I absolutely love every single thing, like every single thing. If I'm going to add to that, in line with what you said, while you were speaking, what it reminded me of is how my mom used to say, when you get to a new class, find the brightest person in class and make him your
Yes.
friend.
Yes, yes.
And it was like a
Because
theory. I know they use
yeah,
Mumu use friend.
if you have a dull friend, if you're the smartest one in the group, that means you're going to be dull very soon. Yes, so it's
Oh,
better you meet.
what a
It's
way
better.
to say it.
It's better you meet. It's better you go along with the people who's the smart kid in the class.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yes,
All
yes,
right,
yes.
Leng, thank you so much. Before we let you go, I'm gonna ask you this question. So now, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, Lengdung is now an author.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Hello.
yeah, 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 yeah.
What's next now? How many more books should we expect? Should we put pressure on you? What's up? Tell us what's
No, no,
next.
don't don't- okay. What's next right now is I honestly don't know.
I like the honesty. Nice,
Yeah, I
nice.
honestly don't know. I'm
Ah,
just.
okay.
I mean, I'm going to try hard, push my book, and yeah, of course, like you said, I'm already thinking about the next book. So, but
Nice.
yeah, and I'll keep
So how
doing the
can
things
we
I'm
get
doing.
this book? How can our audience get this book?
Yeah, so it's all if there's information for that on my Facebook page. Just Lengdung Tungchamma on Facebook. You see all the info for where you can get it. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Seller. Yeah, you can get it from those platforms.
All right, so before you go, guys, I'm going to put that on the comment section. So whether it's on Spotify,
Yes, yes,
I'm
and
going
I'm
to
going to
have
send
that
you the
link
link
on.
for the purchase too, so you can drop it there too.
Yes, so we're going to have that on Spotify and we're going to have it on YouTube and on our social media platforms. But before you go, Lendung, I want you to paint a picture of success for our audience. What is the success of this book for you? What
Oh,
does it look like?
oh, okay. On the Nigerian side, in the next 6 months, I'm looking at success, like selling 1,000 copies of this book, and I'm hoping eventually it really becomes a bestseller, and that would be like selling 10,000 copies, and yeah, this is on the Nigerian side. So and then
On
yeah,
the
I think
global
that'll be.
stage.
You say what?
On the global stage.
Yeah, on the global stage, 500,000 in the next 5 years.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
500,000. And I have a question for you too.
Okay, so before you ask me that question, right? I would also want you to tell us how do you think that our audience from other African countries can connect with this story?
Yes. Oh, this is very important. Yeah, this is Unzipped Africa, right?
Yes.
Okay. Africa is actually nearly the same in many ways. They say
Yeah.
Africa is a country because of the level of challenges that are similar, but don't believe them. Africa is actually 54 different independent countries that are different in many ways. So, but here's the truth. Africa is similar in any ways that the challenges we face are almost the same. We have problem of education everywhere. We have problems of poverty everywhere. We have problems of we have climate change and all of these things. And you know what? The solution to all of these things begins with education. The solution to all of these things begin with an empowered citizenry. What has happened to Africa as a
Empowered
result of
citizen.
slavery, as a result of colonization, is that we became a people who feel disempowered. We feel we can't do this, we can't do things. We feel that we have been decimated. I mean, first we were taken as slaves, we were so useless. Our forefathers had to choose that the best thing they could do was to jump into the river and die, and rather than to go as slaves. And then at the same time, when colonization came, these guys came with guns and we had only bows and arrows. And then now when our leaders came, eventually they put a draconian state that was completely decimating the citizenry. You read stories of protests in Nigeria, in Kenya, in Tanzania, and all you see is that the leaders are using force to break these protests. So each time when people begin to think that they can do something, they remember these memories, they remember these things that have happened. But I have good news, guys. We still have the power. Remember, guys, we brought slavery to an end. We brought colonization to an end. Britain was planning to give Ghana its independence in the year 2000. But in the year 1957, they left Ghana. You know why? Because Ghana had a guy whose name was Kwame Nkrumah, who went to school, got an education, was an avid reader. In fact, something interesting about Kwame Nkrumah is this. Whenever someone met him with a problem, Kwame Nkrumah would grab a book from the bookshelf and give the person. He was always giving his ministers books. That's to say that thing empowered him so much, and that's what he was doing. And in
Wow.
1957, nearly 43 years before Britain planned to give
The
independence,
proposed independence.
yes, Ghana grabbed it by
Wow.
force. And you know what? The whole
Wow.
of Africa grabbed it too. And we have brought down dictators in countries, in everywhere. In Africa, in countries like in Nigeria, we did it too. In Kenya, we did it. So guys, our generation must feel empowered. So this
Yes.
book will actually make people feel empowered. You are not hopeless, you are not helpless, you are not without any power. You have the power of your mind. And that is the most powerful thing that you need. And with it, you can
Fantastic.
do a lot of efforts.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I have goosebumps. I wish I can show, right?
Okay,
That
I want to
was a
see.
powerful speech. You want to see?
Yes, thank you.
I honestly do. I wish you can see, but I honestly do. It was so powerful. I could feel it, and I'm sure that even this atmosphere is heated up because of that powerful speech.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just a second
Yeah,
to
because I actually believe it.
insert.
Yeah, I actually believe it.
Oh my goodness!
I know who will do this.
Wow,
We
fantastic.
are, we are the generation that will change Africa. We are that generation.
I hope so. I really hope so. I really hope so. All right. So, Lengdung, you said you had a question for me. Do you want to ask me the question right before we
Yes,
go?
yes. I
Because
want to ask you
we
live.
have like
When I,
maybe 2 minutes to spare.
yes, when are you going to write your book?
When I Ooh, arrows fired, shots fired. Funny enough, I actually started writing, but then I got to a point where I felt I wasn't there enough. I wanted to write, of course, as a storyteller, I wanted to write about telling African stories, my Africa,
Yes.
sort of thing. I started writing, but then I didn't complete it because it looks like a writer's block, but then it feels like I wasn't ready enough. But I'm considering, I'm going to pick that up or probably start writing something else. Now you've challenged me, so I'm not promising, but I'll do something.
Yeah, if there's anyone that's ready to write, Dorcas, you're ready.
Oh goodness. Oh,
So
okay.
go ahead.
Then this is my podcast. So don't come and be motivating me here.
I'm just telling the truth.
That's right. I'll actually look into it, and when I'm ready, I'll let everyone know that I'm writing, so you can all hold me accountable.
Yes, yes.
Does
We're
that
waiting.
work? Genge, author.
Yeah, yeah.
Author.
Let me bake in my authorship before you write yours and shift me out.
Guys, that's how much we can take this week. Thank you so much for listening. If you're joining us, if you're streaming with us on Facebook, thank you for joining, and thank you for staying up until this time. And if you are listening to us on any of the platforms, please remember to share, purchase the book, pre-order, and when it's fully out, purchase, share, tell your friends about it, and gift this book specifically to people who you think this book can empower, especially communities where you think this sort of influence is needed. Gift this book out. This is where we take the final bow. And until we come your way next time, thank you so much, Lengdung, for doing this with me. And guys, have a beautiful week ahead. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Stay.
Shukran.